Or, Parashat Vayishlach, Beshchov Dalet at the bottom. Okay, Vayishlach Yaakov Malachim lefanav Esau. Yaakov sent Malachim before him to Esau his brother. In the Yadua, it's known, Yaakov Shoshim B'chinas Shema of Elam HaTikun. The source of Yaakov Avinu is Tikun, which is the name Memhei of the Yudkei Vavkei. V'shosh Shalezim B'chinas Elam HaTeil. And Esau comes from the world of Tehil, like we learned many times. V'erd is the Tem G'dei L'Ma'ed. And the revelations of Tehil are very, very great. And they're not able, right? That's why there was what's called Shviras HaKelim in Tehil, because there was Eres Merubim V'Kelim Mu'atim. There was an abundance of light, but very little Kelim. So that, spiritually speaking, the Kelim broke. It was very lofty level. The sparks fell all the way down, fell down into the world of Esau. In the stalkum kelim and the earthest of the kelim, and they become the level of makifim. The kelim nishbru v'nafel and the kelim fell down here. Lochein Esau shalamata rosha. Therefore, Esau down here is a level of a rosha because the sparks fell very, very low. But in the makifim of Tehil, the source where Esau comes from, is the Tehil in the Mailam is the Tikkun. Okay, so bottom line is, down here, Yaakov is greater than Esau, in the source, Esau is greater than Yaakov, which explains why he was the firstborn. Because in essence, he was greater than Yaakov. Yaakov Avinu thought that Esau was already refined. So Yaakov Avinu, so to speak, his mistake was he thought Esau was already refined, and therefore Esau is the ultimate epitome level of kedusha. That's what he thought. Therefore, it says in the pasuk, "Vayishlach Yaakov malachim lefanav." Simply, he sent malachim before him. But the pasuk could have just said, "Vayishlach Yaakov malachim el Esav achiv." So he says, what does lefanav mean? Lefanav to a level before, a level higher than Yaakov. Now he sent malachim lefanav to a higher level than Yaakov to Esau. And he says, which refers to Malk and Kadam Moin the Tehil, which had a level of Malkifim. At the end of Vayishlach, all the way at the end, it says, these are the 8 kings that ruled in Edom before there was a Jewish king. And over it says, Vayimlach Vayamas, they ruled, they died. So Chassidus and Kabbalah explain that's the level of Tehil. And it's higher than Melech V'nei Yisrael. It's higher than the level of Tikkun with the Yaakovin of the Jews. So Yaakov Avinu thought that he was already, in his body, he was already elevated. So therefore, La'am Shebechinas Makivim Eilav the Tehil Lamata B'Tikkun. So what did Yaakov Avinu want? Yaakov thought Esau is now Kedusha in the world of Tehil. So Yaakov wanted to bring down into himself, Tikkun, the revelations of Tehil. He thought, hey, Tehil is already Kedusha, Esau is Kedusha now, so let's bring down those super great infinite levels into himself, in a Pneumius. Which is our Pneumius. So he thought, let's bring down this level of Kedusha. And therefore he commanded them and said as following, this is what you should tell my master Esau. In Lavan Garti, I would live with Lavan, and I have the ox, donkeys, or slaves, or all that stuff. But the pasuk said, "Vayihi li." That means Yaakov said to Esau like this through the messenger: "I elevated the whole world of Tikkun already. Shor chamor li. It's to me. I elevated it. Shor chamor, everything. What I want now is now the level of Teil to come into me. Everything was elevated in Atzilus. Because all the levels of Elam Atzilus is Shor, Chamer, Tzein, Eved, V'Shivcha. So Kulam Nisbaru V'Niskan Niknuknu Aydei Shema. And they're already fixed through the name of Ma'av Tikkun. And why is this? Because Lavan Garti. Because I lived with Lavan. What's Lavan? Lavan, Levin Elyin, the level of ultimate white and purity. Shemishama Ya'ika Kercha Shefel Yaakov Bal Elam Atzilis. Okay, let me explain this. Contrary to public belief, all these guys in Chumash that are the low lives, the Lavans, the liars, the swindlers, the cheaters, the Lavans, the Esavs, it's all the way they are down here, the love of Rishayim. Now again, the higher the thing, the lower it falls. So you could say, Esau down here was a terrible Rasha. But in source, he's higher than Yaakov. He's a layer of Teil, which are higher than Tikkun. Lavan comes to word white. White represents purity. The source of Lavan, says in Kabbalah and Chassidus, is Levin Ha'elyon, the highest levels of Kedusha possible. Because it was super high, when Lavan fell down, he fell really low, like Esau. But Yaakov Avinu says, Im Lavan Garti, you know why I elevated the Shor, Chamor, Tzain, Eved, and Shivcha, the levels of Atzilus? Where did I get the ability to elevate them to Kedusha? From Im Lavan Garti, from the level of Lavan. So he says to Esau, listen guy, I finished all my Avodah. You finished your Teil. That's what he thought. So you did your Avodah, I did my Avodah. I want that I should get down your level of Teil, which is normally encompassing levels, is too great to internalize in a vessel. I want to internalize it in a vessel. It doesn't say Teil, but he said Levin or Elyon, very lofty levels. I don't know exactly what level. That's why Yaakov Avinu played with the Akudim, Nukudim, Abrudim. Those are very lofty levels in Kabbalah. But that's after Teil. Okay. Okay. This level of Lavan was the ultimate koyach and sustenance of Yaakov. But Elamatzias Levaros, it's not going to to fix and refine everything. So this is what Yaakov Avinu is telling Esau. My avoid of Tikkun, all the levels of the four worlds, Tzilas, that was elevated. What do I want now? I want you to reveal yourself into me, the level of Teil into Tikkun. And now I'm able to get the encompassing level. Not that the vessels are perfected, now I can bring down a loftier level. He says, if you didn't refine the vessels yet, there's no way that higher level could come into the vessels, as the vessels are not completely refined, completely bottled telukus.
So Esau's vessels were more refined than greater than Yaakov?
Yes. And that's why, as we learned in the other Maimon, not this one, what did he send them? Treif animals. And he sent us mincha hi shlucha. Mincha means a korban. All the korban mincha, right? All the korbanos are called a mincha. Mincha means a present, a gift. So, normally korbanos have to be from kosher animals. Because you can bring a korban from a non-kosher animal. So why did Yaakov Avinu send them gemalim, camels, which are treifa animals? So it says because they come from why are they treif? Because they come from such a lofty place of Teil, the camels. treif animals, come from a very high place. They fell down very low, so low that we can't elevate them. But here we're talking about the Teo world. He wants to refine Teo, and he sends him Kabbanis, treif animals that come from the world of Teo. Because he wants to refine and internalize that level of Teo within himself.
I mean, if God chinuch for him such great parents, so why wasn't his kid refined enough?
Who? Because Esau chose not to. Why did Yitzchak want to bless Esau? He wanted to elevate him, like we learned. But Rivka understood that now is not the time. It's not happening now. There's a process that can't happen now. It has to go through Golus and this and that.
He wanted to elevate within himself or within
The Alter Rebbe is saying he wants to bring down the revelations of Tehu that are too great to normally be internalized in the world. He wanted to internalize them.
Yeah.
Yes. And then when the Malachim came back, as we're going to see, they said, "Sir, you're mistaken. He didn't refine himself yet." So it's still only the evil aspect of Esau, not the Kedusha aspect of Esau. Like it says, a bracha cannot be in an empty vessel. You need to make a vessel for it. In a complete vessel. You know, when the Rebbe used to give out dollars, okay, spiritually speaking, a dollar is a complete number. It's 100 pennies, right? The dollar is shleimus. When the Rebbe gives a bracha, it has to hold on to a gashmiistic thing to have a grasp onto the bracha. Or they can say l'chaim over a cup of wine, or mashka, whatever it is. You're saying l'chaim v'levracha, right? So you want a bracha that has to have a physical thing to hold the bracha down. If not, it's going to leave. Like right after Matan Torah, there's this revelation at Har Sinai. Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu right away, build a Mishkan, because it's a revelation. If there's no vessel for it, it's not going to last. But now that Yaakovina says, I finished the level of Tikkun, it's a complete place. That's fit to have this level of Makif. Therefore, meaning, and that's the level of Chen. Chen is charm. He says, meaning I want to be mamshach, that level of chen, which is charm, that level of teyu into me. Because I transform darkness to light in the world of tikkun. Now it's a sarshlim mamish, it's a complete world. In Kain Roy Ani Limse Chen Beinacha, which is the Ashra Bracha of Melvel Makif. To be continued.